What are some of the most fun and entertaining things to do online as a graphic designer? I have some awesome free websites to show you guys coming right up. Sponsoring today's video is a website design tool that fits right into your browser, ReadyMac. With thousands of free web fonts built in and tons of templates and so much more. Learn more about ReadyMac later in today's video and how to build your own unique and memorable website. So you might have seen some of these websites before, but I'm sure you haven't seen them all. These are some of the most fun and interesting things to do on the internet as a graphic designer, starting with this game right here that tests your pen tool skills and your knowledge of letter forms. Now you must pull and drag the pink handles as you would in Adobe Illustrator, and that is to complete each letter and then get a score percentage. Now there are 10 different rounds on this game, and I only realized halfway through that you can use the shift key on the handles, and that's going to pin things down horizontally and vertically like you would in Illustrator with the pen tool. But when you get through all 10 rounds, you have an average score, and mine ended up being 78 out of 100. But yeah, give this one a go yourself after you've seen this video. The next one tests your awareness of brands. So for example here we have the Coca-Cola logo, and I need to guess the color of the logo as well as having a saturation bar to work with. And I'm not sure how, but I did end up getting 100 on this first round. There are a total of 9 different brand logos or icons to work with that you need to try and work out the color of. And at the end there seems to be random images of cats for some reason, and I'm not complaining though because cats are pretty cool. But you can see my scores here, and I think the Dropbox part of this test is broken. Or maybe I just really sucked at that part, I don't know. But anyway, let's move on to the next one, which offers a 10% discount to people who score more than 50% on the test. So here we have a name of a typeface, and then we have to select the right font from a choice of 4 options. There are 30 in total for this game, and like I said, if you get more than 50% correct, then you can win a 10% discount on the font library if that's something that intrigues you. But yeah, this one's pretty tricky, and it's something you'd be good at if you spent hours or years and years and years looking at, and using different kinds of fonts. There are a couple of questions that really confused me on this one, but when I finally got to the end, my score ended up being 18 out of 30, which is 60%. I was fairly pleased with that, and it should be known that this site doesn't reveal the correct answers, so you can only get better by studying fonts in your workflow. There is another test later in today's video that I think you will find super interesting, but first, something to pull your hair out over. This is a quickfire game where you must match up the colours. It is really easy at the beginning, but it quickly devolves into something that causes confusion and possibly even anger. If you click the wrong option, then you will be penalised for it, and there are a total of 20 colours to guess, with the choices becoming more and more difficult with each passing round. For me, things started to get tricky after about round 14 or 15, and that's when tints and shades started to be thrown into the mix. Considering there is a tight time limit in the top left, you really have to move quickly on this one. So when it was all said and done, I ended up with a score of 477. Now do you think you can beat that score? I'm pretty sure many of you can actually, but let's move on to the next one, which is really interesting. This is a test by the same website that presented us with the font guessing game. But with this one, however, we need to guess or determine specifics within typography. So for example here, what is a brave exactly? And then moving on to the next one, it asks what is the baseline? The game continues like this, and there are a lot of technical terms that threw me off when I was trying to work them out. But when you come to play it, you'll understand just how difficult it is. My final score on this game ended up being 13 out of 25, which is kind of disappointing, but hey, at least it's above 50% I guess. The next game is really cool because it actually taught me something. Now as a designer, I've known about hex color codes going back years and years and years, but I didn't realize the 2 values refer to red and then green and then blue, that makes up the RGB color mode. This game is basically like Space Invaders, but instead using hex color codes. You need to work out which alien to shoot in relation to the color code on the screen. This game really requires a lot of concentration, and it does become increasingly more difficult. If you get it wrong, the invaders will swarm down quicker. I barely made it from round 4 to round 5, but round 5 would be the final one for me. I didn't get past this point, but how well do you think you would do on this game? So today's video is sponsored by ReadyMag. Now I myself have no expertise in coding, and in fact I had to study it for 2 weeks in my graphic design course in college, and I ended up hating coding so much that I've never touched it since. But with the design tool ReadyMag, you don't need to learn coding at all. It has an intuitive drag and drop editor style kind of process, which means you don't need to use code. There are also tons of highly customizable templates ready to use for your projects. ReadyMag allows you to animate pretty much anything as well, making scroll features and buttons come to life. And that's something we're seeing nowadays in a lot of portfolio websites, is how things are not static these days. ReadyMag also has over 5,000 fonts integrated from Typekit and also WebType, but also a lot of imagery connected back to Unsplash, which is one of my favorite stock image websites. So yeah, with this nifty design tool, you can get inspired with a gallery of example pages and then head off to create something awesome for yourself with ease. ReadyMag has a variety of flexible plans, so you can pay the price depending on a number of projects you're going to create and features that you desire. However, with the Studio plan, you can create as many projects as you want and map up to 5 domains on your account. Now you can use the promo code Satori50 when following the link in the description box below, and the first 50 users who do so can actually try out the Studio plan for only $20. Again, that link is down in the description box below, so do try that out today. So that was a lot of fun that you can have on the internet as a graphic designer. Everything is linked down below, but if you want to watch more content by myself, do click a video on screen, and until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.